YouTubers, this is Tia from Musings of a Mystic, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm doing a pick a card, and if you want to just get to the pick a card and you don't want to hear my personal experience, includes like how I fixed my problem and how I feel like it would help other people, to how my experience can help you fix your problems. That if you don't want to hear that, just click the timestamps below and you can just go ahead and watch the pick a card reading. But what I'm doing today is why my magic spell didn't work. If you look at my YouTube channel, you can see that there is a I'm just doing this to help me think. There is a video called Magic Spell Gone Wrong. It's a money spell that went wrong, and this is kind of a follow-up video to that to kind of give you some idea about how I eventually made money spells start working for me, and even to kind of give you an update about what I have manifested. And yeah, we'll just go ahead and get into the video. So this is why my magic spell didn't work. There is a pick a card at the end, which will be timestamped below. And before I go into that, I will say that I do one question readings right now. They're $5. And I also sell crystals on eBay. And I accept tips and donations, and all of that information will be in the description box below. So anyway, why don't we go ahead and get started? So, to give you a short recap of the video that I did before called Why My Magic Spell Didn't Work, it was like one of my first money spells, and it didn't work because, well, let me say this. What I did was I cast a spell. It was like a sentimental spell, and then I lost money. I lost my wallet. I think I lost my debit card. I lost like $40, and then I was like, what the hell? So I was, to say the least, I was very, very disillusioned. I was like, but magic is supposed to work a certain way. Why does it not work for me? So I did some self-searching before I decided, oh, you know, magic doesn't work. Magic doesn't work. Hoodoo doesn't work. Wicca doesn't work. This stuff doesn't work. Before I really just decided to, and there goes a card right there. Before is the Six of Cups in the Rider-Waite Tarot deck. This is about things from the past. So, there are things in my past that I was still holding on to about money. Oh, you know, I would be the person that says, oh my god, that person is filthy rich. Oh, you know, money is the root of all evil. And then there was the desperation. I need money. I need money. And that vibration clashed with my vibration of the vibration of the spell. And that all kind of came together. And I think my intention wasn't as clear as it needed to be. So all of that stuff kind of came together, and to say the least, my first money magic spell was a freaking mess. So to get clear, for most of us who just get into doing magic, hoodoo, Wicca, whatever system you believe in or system that you follow, for most of us in the beginning, we just kind of get into it, and we don't really think about how the past kind of affects us, I believe. I didn't. I came from a Christian background. My mom is one of those people who, she'll go to church every Sunday, and she will, she'll kind of just go to church, and then live her life, and then she's not, well anyway, that's not important. What is important is, I came from a Christian background. And you know how most Christians feel about magic. It's evil to them. And I came from that background, and I didn't think about that. I was like, oh, I just don't believe in that system, Christianity, that organized religion kind of stuff. I don't believe in that, right? And then I got into doing magic, and I didn't clean that mess up first. So to get into my bullet points on my notes before I continue to ramble, for a lot of people who get into magic, they don't really consider their past and their beliefs about magic, and they expect magic to work for them. Now, what I learned is that you have to clean that mess up first. So my bullet point number 1 is why my magic spell didn't work is I was blocked in some way. Duh. Like, I was blocked, and it actually went backwards for me because my beliefs were blocking me. So you have to look at your beliefs and what you actually for real believe about magic, like deep down, because that's going to affect your spells in the future. So here's what I learned about myself. I've done a lot of spells by now. It's been about a year since I started getting into magic, and there are times where I am actually under a crossed condition. And a crossed condition is when you crossed yourself up, meaning that you, like, for example, you think bad thoughts, and then you manifest bad things into your life, which blocks you from your good. So, you could have done that to yourself. You're like, oh, I want the money, but I'm not really worthy of money. I don't deserve money. I'll never get money. Whatever. So if you believe those things and then you do a magic spell and then you expect it to work, it's not going to work. You have to look at your beliefs again, clean up your beliefs, and then these things should start to move in your life. You have to get very, very clear on what you want. So you could cross yourself up, or someone else can cross you up. Now, this could be intentional or unintentional, like somebody throwing a magical mess at you because they're jealous, or they want what you've got, or they just feel like you feel like you're better than them, and then they just kind of they throw a mess at you, which means that they cast a spell on you, or they cast their intention for you not to do well toward you. And that's kind of where the evil eye comes from. They're jealous, and their jealousy comes toward you, and it actually causes problems in your life. So a cross condition could be, like I said, intentional or unintentional. You can do it to yourself, or someone else can do it to you. And before you do any magic spell, I recommend that you do protection for yourself. Okay? Because if you're not protected, and then you get all this good stuff, or people see that good things are getting ready to come to you, some of them will, unfortunately, cross you up. So, that's something that I kind of learned, and how I had to get through some cross conditions. And your beliefs, like I said, from your past, your beliefs from your past can cross you up. So, that's like point 1 there. You have to take care of the cross condition first, and I'll tell you at the bottom, at the end, how you can kind of do that. And, excuse my sniffles. So, my bullet point number 2 I've already gone through. Your beliefs. If you believe that magic doesn't work, or you believe that magic works like it does on TV, you are going to have an issue with your spells. Because you're expecting something that's not going to happen. Like, you can't just snap your fingers and then everything's changed. Because that's not how the real world works. And I believe that, I feel like this is a fact. The law of attraction, that's what helps you bring anything to you. Basically, it's like attracts like. And if you are attracting magic, or you're saying magic doesn't work and you're believing that, but you're still doing it, it won't work for you. And it might backtrack and take from you. You know what I mean? So, yeah, excessive worry is also something that will get in your way when you're doing a magic spell. And excessive worry is basically not having faith that your spell will work. I've gotten to the point now where I believe in myself. I believe in my spells and they will work. And I've been getting a lot of good results. I'll tell you kind of at the end of these bullet points. I'll tell you at the end of it kind of what I've manifested. I am going to move on to the next point here before I ramble on. For me, a lot of my magic spells didn't work because my energy was scattered. It's like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, I'm going to add this, I'm going to add that, I'm going to do this all at the same time. And that the energy got in and it was a jumble. It was a jumbled energy, so it wasn't very clear. I believe it wasn't very clear to the universe kind of what I wanted. So I might have gotten small bits and pieces, but it wasn't what I was looking for. It wasn't what I wanted. It's okay to do certain kinds of work at the same time, but I've gotten to the point where it works better if I do like a cleansing and nothing else, or money spell at one time and then nothing else, or certain kinds of works that will go together. So I would do like a cleansing, a healing, the protection, and then do the spell that I'm doing, and I might combine. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, here's a better example. So you want to do a money spell, and you also kind of want two different things to happen. Like maybe you want $500, and then you need $1,000 like separately. But for some reason you don't combine those. You can do two separate spells at the same time because they're spells that are parallel to each other. They're in the same category. I hope that kind of makes sense to you. You can do those two at the same time, and your energy will generally push all that stuff forward, and it'll come back to you how you want it. But if you want to like mix a love spell and then like a banishing spell at the same time, those two energies will probably get very, very, very confused, and you might banish the love you want and then attract whatever it is that you're trying to banish. You know what I mean? So you might want to do the banishing spell a different day and then do the love spell a different day, because those two are kind of at cross purposes. They're not going to move forward. It'll be like pushing things away and you can't bring anything back because you're not really open. Like your channels aren't open. They're mixed up. So I hope that makes sense. And here's another one that I kind of have come across for a lot of people and for myself a couple times. You're not giving your spell enough time to work. If it's been like a day and you're like, oh my god, why haven't I gotten my manifestation yet? Oh, I don't know. Like if you didn't spend the entire day yesterday, the entire 24 hours sitting there praying and praying and praying and doing the work and stuff, you really can't expect, an instant manifestation the next day. What I've seen for most people is they'll do a spell and it'll last like 20 minutes and they'll focus really hard on it, which is good. As long as your focus is kind of pure. But they will get to the point where they're like, oh, it's not working because it didn't happen tomorrow. And that's not giving it enough time. And then once you start to doubt it because it didn't work tomorrow, then your you're taking power away from the spell because you're not believing that it's going to work. You're not giving it enough time, and then your lack of faith is causing it not to work because you're like, oh, it didn't happen immediately, so it must not be working. So patience is a virtue when it comes to spells that you're casting. Yep. And here, this kind of goes back to the intention. Get very, very clear on what your intention is. Because if your intention is not clear, your beliefs aren't clear, be honest. You gotta be honest with yourself. If your belief is a certain way, then you have to fix the belief first before you cast a spell, because then it's not going to work, because your belief is just it's gonna bounce what you want off of you. And I've had that happen before. It's just a funny story that comes kind of with the cross conditions. I cast a money spell. I cast more money spells after the first one that didn't work. I cast more. And I cast a spell to get more tips at work at my old job. And once I cast that spell, people around me kept getting more tips, and my tips stayed the same or got worse. And I was like, what is really going on? It was like my abundance bounced off me, and people around me caught those blessings. And that's kind of what I feel like. I had a shield up. The cross condition. The shield is up. So your blessing is trying to come towards you, and then it comes here, and then it bounces off, and there's somebody right here that catches it. So it was me here with the shield up, and my blessings were bouncing off to other people around me. So the other drivers were getting my blessing because I had this cross condition that I hadn't dealt with first. So that's kind of a good way to see if you've got a barrier between you and your blessings, between you and your, I don't want to call it fallout from your spells, but like the result from your spell, is if you cast it, but then your best friend gets whatever it is that you prayed for. You cast a spell, but then your coworkers around you get promoted, and you stay in that same place. I'm gonna put some suggestions at the bottom, at the end of my personal experience, so that you can kind of see how you can get rid of cross condition. And you do it yourself. It's free. I'm not going to charge you anything, because I don't do spells or magic for anyone else most of the time. That's funny. Talking about losing money, and there goes the lost money card. But maybe it's oh, you should charge. But I don't do spells for other people, so it's not like oh, you're gonna pay me to do this. No. When you get to those suggestions, there are things you do for yourself, and all that information is free. So anyway, we're at you're not giving it enough time, and you're not giving the last bullet point here is you're not giving it enough energy. You're not giving it enough energy. Okay, so you're sitting at your altar or whatever. Here's your candle. Oh, I want Johnny to love me. I want Johnny to love me. Love me, Johnny. Love me, Johnny. You write on your candle, love me, Johnny. I want you to love me, Johnny. You anoint with your oils. You light it up, and then you leave it there. Now, you might get results a little bit, but you're not going to get what you want because you didn't put enough energy into it. Generally, for me, I've got herbs, oils, I've got my candle, or whatever I'm using. Sometimes I'll do a petition and then put it under the candle with herbs around it, and then it's taking me like 3 hours sometimes to do one spell because I focus on it, I pray on it, and then I'm so zoned into it, and that's kind of how I manifested some of the things that I've got, because I just sit there. And it's easy for me. Maybe it's just that I'm a natural magician. I don't know. But it's easy for me to focus on it and sit there and pray about it. And my hands are tingling now because that crystal is so powerful. But if you're not focused enough on the spell, then you will have issues manifesting whatever it is that you want. So, my 5 points so far is that either you crossed yourself up somehow, or someone else crossed you up. It's really easy to get crossed up. It's not as strong as a curse. It's like people cross themselves up every day because their mindset is a bad mindset's a good way to cross yourself up. Or somebody else saw that they had something beautiful and that person wanted it and they're very jealous and they send that jealousy toward that person intentionally or unintentionally. Doesn't really matter. Sometimes it's just, it just happens that way because some people don't realize how strong their intention is and they send it out willy-nilly and then they get certain things back. Some people intentionally cross you up. And you can break those crosses on your own. Belief. Oh, some people are like, money is dirty or I don't deserve love, and then they wonder why their spells don't work because they believe inside of themselves they don't deserve these things, but then they do the spell anyway, and they don't get, it's like self-deceit. You're wondering why your spell's not working, but you've deceived yourself into believing that magic works a certain way. And it doesn't work like TV magic does. You have to do other things before, you have to deal with the beliefs before you can get the successful benefits of your spell. And then it was scattered energy. You're doing too many things at one time, and that's another way to not get the benefits of your spell. You're not giving your spell enough time. That's point number 4, I believe. You're not giving your spell enough time, and then you're taking power away from it by worrying because it hasn't happened immediately. You're not giving your spell enough energy. You're just sitting there, oh, Johnny love me, put the oil on the candle, write on the candle, Johnny love me, and then you just leave it there. Now, seasoned practitioners do actually have that power where they sit there, but it's like they instantly get into the zone and they focus. They're like, oh, all of my intention is here. And it's like highly concentrated and they've got all of this energy that pushes in. And then they get to the point where it's like, I don't want to say they're like machines, but they've gotten a system down where they're like, okay, I've got this herb, and that herb, and this, and that oil, and that oil, and that oil. I can go pick it out of my shelf, put it all together. I sit here, my area is cleansed. I can just sit here, inscribe. I know exactly what I want. I'm putting that on my candle or putting it in my petition or whatever. And I'm going to put that candle here. I'm going to do this. I'm putting my herbs around it. My oils are on it. And then I'm going to light it. And I'm going to pray a bit more. And then I release it into the universe and it's done. Seasoned witches can do that. They can just do magic with their minds because they've been doing it for so long. Now for beginners, which is what this video is kind of for, beginners, you have to build up that kind of energy. Seasoned witches also have good relationships with their spirits most of the time, or their spirit guides, or their high vibration spirit friends. Some practitioners work with jinn, which are genies to us Americans or the Western world. Some people work with jinns, some people work with demons, and some people work with angels, It's just whatever works for you. I personally like to work with high vibration, my ancestors and my high vibration spirit friends, but whatever works for you. So anyway, those were the 5 points there. And there was a bonus point. Sometimes God simply says no. Sometimes your gods, your goddesses, your spirit friends are simply going to say no. And some spells will just never work. And this is kind of rare. let me think. How can I put that? So, I listen to the Lucky Mojo Hoodoo Rootwork Hour on the LMC network. It's on Blog Talk Radio. A lot of you know about Lucky Mojo. I like Lucky Mojo. I'm not affiliated with them right now. I'm not selling any products. I just like their products because their products are simple and they work. And on the show, they do free readings for people. They have like 2 experienced readers doing free readings for people, but you have to sign up at their blog, their forum. And they'll take readings for people who want love. They're like, oh, I want this person. It's generally a reconciliation. Oh, I want this person to love me. I want this person to come back to me. And how do I do that? So they'll do 2 readings and they'll give you a spell, basically, to do. And they'll say, here, this is the spell. Now put a time frame on it, because sometimes you can't get people to come back. And this is something people don't understand about magic, is God can say no, and the person that you're casting the spell on can say no. The person still has free will. And even if you are the strongest spellcaster, sometimes you cannot make people do what you want them to do, because they still have their free will. And you cannot really... You can influence people, but people still have their free will. And they can always say no. They can always go left when you want them to go right. That is not... They can go left when you want them to go right. They can go up when you want them to go down. So, I mean, if you're like it for love spells, especially, you can't always get the person that you want, because sometimes they just don't want you. For example, on one of the shows, this lady wanted this man, but it turned out he was gay. And they were like, okay, you can't really get someone to love you if they would never love you ever, ever, ever in the lifetime that you two are together. Like because he was gay, that was his orientation. Like, you can't change his orientation to suit you. You know what I mean? And I hope that makes sense. Like, that's just how it's free will. People aren't going to, like, go back on their orientation just because that's what you want and that's what you prayed for and that's what you're looking for. That's just not going to work. The better thing to do is to cast a spell to find someone who does suit you better than to cast a spell on a person, because those don't always work. Unless that person is partial to you already. So anyway, that was the bonus. Sometimes God says no. So one more time. Sometimes you are crossed. You crossed yourself, or someone else crossed you up, intentionally or unintentionally. Your belief is getting in your way. For example, money is dirty. Or you're worrying too much, which takes power away from the spell because you're not having any faith in your work. Your energy is scattered. You're doing too much stuff at one time. You're not giving your spell enough time to work, and then you worry. Worry is the bane of all spells. You have to cast it and believe that it's going to come to you. And I kind of got to the point where I used to worry a lot, and my spells would half work or they wouldn't work because I was so worried about them. So what I do is I'll cast it. And you're going to have to probably cast a lot of spells. And I suggest maybe you do a lot of small things that won't totally devastate you if they don't work. Do a lot of small things just to show yourself that you can manifest things this way. I keep seeing this card. It's the Sun card. It's about happiness. It's about happy manifestations. This is you down here. You want to get what you want. So you kind of have to, we're on scattered energy. Get your energy together. What was beliefs? Worry. It was worry. Stop worrying. Find a way to be happy. Focus on what you actually want. And stop worrying about it so much. But cast a bunch of small spells to show yourself that you can actually manifest things. Things that you might not be too extremely attached to. And then upgrade to something a little bit more important. A little bit more important. So like, oh, I want to manifest a free cup of coffee or whatever, you know what I mean? Oh, you don't really care if somebody gives you a free cup, right? And there's this lady with her coin. She's manifested this coin. She looks real cool. Show yourself that you can manifest. Oh, I want somebody to give me $20. Like, $20 is not that much money. Please, Spirit, I'd like to manifest $20 in my life, unexpectedly, in a way that's compatible with me. And then sit back and wait. Sit back and, kind of try and forget about it a little bit. And then when it comes to you, you're like, oh, I did that. So now I can do other things. I can do bigger things. I just have to get my same headspace that I had when I was manifesting that cup of coffee or that $20. And I hope that made sense to you guys. Your energy is scattered. Sometimes you gotta just do one spell at a time, and I know it's exciting, and you're like, oh, now I can manifest $20. I want to manifest $1 million, and then I want to do this, and I also want a car, a boat, and a house, and I want this and that and the fourth. I'm gonna do it all at the same time. For me, I had to graduate from level to level, so I manifested this cup of coffee. All right, I'm gonna manifest $20. All right, I'm gonna manifest this. I'm gonna manifest this. I'm gonna manifest this. I'm going to manifest this. And then you're all the way up here, and you can manifest $1 million because you showed yourself that you can do all this other stuff. You know what I mean? So I hope that made sense. Get your energy together. Put it in a little bag. Sorry, Rick and Morty reference. Give your spells enough time to work. Like if it's been... And here's a good tip that I learned from Catherine Ironwood from Lucky Mojo. The spell... A good way to kind of help yourself not worry so much is to kind of look for movement and signs. Alright, so you cast a spell for a cup of coffee. And you're out in the world and you see everybody around you drinking Starbucks. That's a positive sign that your manifestation is coming toward you. You are at work. And somebody's like, oh, hey, let me make you a cup of coffee. Would you consider that a free cup of coffee? Or, like, kind of, what do you, well, now I'm getting confusing. So anyway, the good example, better example, is that you see people drinking coffee everywhere. Every commercial on the radio is about coffee, this, that, and the fourth. Coffee's everywhere all of a sudden. That's a positive movement in the direction of your manifestation. And... That's a good way to help yourself not worry so much. And signs and movement. That was the movement and the signs. Okay, yeah. So anyway, that kind of helped me in my journey. And the last point is you're not giving enough energy. Give it all your energy. Give it your undivided attention as best you can. I know sometimes you got monkey mind, but give it your undivided attention as best you can. Alright, so, oh yeah, and sometimes God says no. Or the person says no. Sometimes, it's just not going to work. For whatever reason. And it's generally love spells that won't work like that because people have free will. So anyway, let me go on before I make this any longer. How do you avoid your spells going wrong and not working? So here, for my first spell, the magic spell that went wrong, I kind of reevaluated the issues. I reevaluated myself and why I lost the money and what happened. I realized that I had stinking thinking. And here's how I kind of fixed those issues. I started kind of meditating and journaling. Okay, these are my beliefs about money. And then I was like, oh, those beliefs are counter to what I want to do here. So I decided that I needed to clean that up. So I started doing cleansing baths. I also decided that it was probably better for me to make sure that I'm prepared for the spell. I have enough time for it. I have what I need for it. Because my first spell, I did a substitution for one of the herbs. But I was like, oh, it's pumpkin spice instead of cinnamon. And a lot of people say pumpkin spice has everything in it or it has a lot of money attraction herbs in it. So it's like, oh, it won't make a difference. But apparently it did. I also kind of stopped using other people's spells and started using my own. But anyway, I did some cleansing. I cleaned up my thinking. I made sure I was prepared. I meditated and journaled my thoughts and my beliefs. And then I made room for whatever it was that I wanted. At the time, it was money. And I guess losing that money made room for more to come in. So, whatever it is that you want, dig into the reason why you don't have it already. And clean up the mess from the past. Like, how are you going to get true love to come to you if you're still stuck on someone else? Like, oh, my ex is still here. We're still kind of talking and we're having sex or whatever. You gotta get rid of that ex to make room for someone else. You know what I mean? And then that was the work that I was doing. So you gotta do the work before you do the spell. Okay. Clean up your beliefs, do the work before you do the spell, and then get your intention right. What is it that you really want? Oh, I want love. Okay. Love comes from everywhere. What kind of love do you want? Oh, I want this, and I want that. And something that Conjure Man Ali, the co-host for the Lucky Mojo Hoodoo Root Work Hour, he has this spell that I guess I can link below in the description box. He has a spell that helps you kind of heal your heart from the past and then help you manifest a love that's suited for you, and not that person that maybe you're casting spells on who's never going to come to you, who may not come to you, excuse me, because they might. Who may never come to you because they have their own free will and their own lives. They could also be protected against magic. So anyway, get your intention right. Make sure that your petition is specific, but not so specific that, oh, I want this man, he's got to have blue eyes and this shade of skin and blonde hair to this degree and he's got to be 6'5" and play basketball and have a BMW that's this particular type of BMW. Now you're getting the universe. There could be just one person like that out there in the world, all the way over there in China, right? And now, if you're meant to be together, things will move in that direction. But if this one person in the world already has someone else, how is it going to work for you? So you kind of have to leave room to wiggle room here. So when I write my petitions, I like to say I want this, this, and this or something better, to leave room for something better to come to me. Something that I didn't even know was out there. Alright, so get specific without being extremely specific. And I also recommend that you do your own reading for yourself. Like, if you're a tarot reader, or if you're a tarot reader, I recommend that you do your own reading for yourself. Or you could pay someone else to do it, and I don't do those right now, so you would have to find maybe somebody else to do it. Or you could ask the universe, alright, is this spell in my highest good? Will my highest good come to me if I do this spell? Heh. This 8 keeps coming out, and I feel like it wants to be upright. It's about communication. Things coming to you quickly. It's like your manifestations coming to you quickly. But anyway, I might have to make this video a part 2 because I've been talking kind of long. Or maybe I can just do an hour-long video and then chop it up in the timestamps for you guys. So anyway, I would say, if you're a tarot reader, do your own reading, or go to YouTube and do a yes or no question kind of reading. Is this spell in my is doing this spell for my highest good? Will my highest good come to me? And maybe you could do 3 of those, and 2 out of 3 wins. If it's no, don't do it. If it's yes, do it. But yeah, sometimes spells don't work. Spells don't work because something else. I already did that. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna. Should I recap again? Well, just one more time. Sometimes your spells don't work because you're blocked, and the ways that you could be blocked, or the ways that I've learned that I was blocked, cross conditions. Someone might have done it to you. You might have done it to yourself, intentionally or unintentionally. Your beliefs are getting in the way. Example: money is dirty. I don't deserve love. Those are 2 beliefs that a lot of people have. And excessive worry is also something that gets in the way. Excessive worry is not having faith. Like, not having faith in your spell. Having scattered energy, doing too much stuff at one time while you're doing the spell, which could be me. That could be taking care of your kids, doing too many spells at one time that aren't parallel to each other, and just kind of having scattered energy while you're doing the spell, which leads into you're not giving, you're not giving yourself enough time, or not giving the spell enough time to work. You can look for signs and movement to help you kind of while away your time. And here's another thing. I know this video is getting long, and I'm sorry, and I hope this helps someone, but another suggestion that I got from Catherine Ironwood is to leave a deck of cards in front of your spell, especially if it's a 3-day spell or a 7-day spell, and each day shuffle your cards or cut your cards, and then pull a card for the spell to kind of gauge the, not the effectiveness, but gauge kind of the progress of your spell. Alright, so you also have to give your spell enough energy for it to work. And I heard this story once where this lady was talking to Jesus or whatever, and she was like, I don't understand why my prayers were never answered. And this person was like, every prayer, or Jesus was like, every prayer that you told, or every prayer that you said, every prayer you prayed was food for the angel bringing you what you wanted. Which is not a cups. Bringing you what you wanted. And then you stopped praying because you felt like your prayer wasn't coming. But your angel was this far from you. Just needed one more prayer, and then you didn't do it, so you didn't get your blessing. You have to give your spells enough energy. And it's okay to do the same spell once a week or once a day for 21 days. Some spells are 21-day spells. So those are the ones that generally work a lot better because you're putting energy into it every day. And by the end of 21 days, you might have put a full week or, an hour, not an hour, a whole day, which is what I was trying to say, 24 hours into, this intention or whatever. So, the bonus was sometimes God says no. People have their own intentions. They have their own free will. And how do you avoid spells going wrong or not working? You prepare yourself before the spell. Clean up your thinking, meditate, journal, get your beliefs right, and then make room for whatever it is that you want to come to you. And then you do the work before doing the spell, which is all those things I just mentioned. You also need to get your petition or your intention right. What exactly is that you want? And be very clear without being over specific. Can you live? You want someone who's 6'4", drives a good car, a nice car, has a good job, or whatever, right? Can you deal with somebody who's just tall? Does it have to be somebody who's 6'4"? Can it be just someone who's tall? Tall is kind of general. but it's also understood that someone who's tall is, they're going to be described as tall. This person could be 6 feet tall and says 6'4". Is that going to kill your spell? Like, are you going to turn them away because they have everything else, but they're 6 feet tall and not 6'4"? Hope that makes sense to you. And that is basically it for that. Yeah, that's basically it for that. And I'm going to go ahead and I guess this is 45 minutes. It's going to be part 1, okay? We're going to do another one because this video is very, very long. So, no, I guess I should do what I said I was going to do and just make this one video and then timestamp it down below, shouldn't I? Well, I'm going to do what I said I'm going to do. I'm sorry for being confusing. We're going to go ahead and do this pick a card to see specifically why your spell is not working for you. I'm going to go, no. Should I use this deck or this one? I'm going to use this one because I just got that green one and I want to give you guys a reading from a deck that I know right now. Alright, so deck number 1, deck number 2, and deck number 3. And I did a video where I apparently switched the decks and the numbers. So I'm going to make sure I don't do that in this one. But the interesting thing about that was that people who got the message still resonated with the message. But let me stop rambling on here. 1, 2, 3. There's 3. There's 2. Here's number 1. Alright, so why is deck number 1's spell not working for them? Why is deck number 1's spell not working for them? Play spirit of the highest vibration, grant me access to the collective so that I can give them clear, concise, accurate answers to their question, which is, why is my spell not working? Why is their spell not working? Why is their spell not working, please, Spirit? Why is their spell not working? Why is their spell not working? 4 of fire. Contentment, peace, and abundance, a happy home life, the successful completion of a project. Alright, so I got two different things, two different timelines here. Some of y'all haven't waited long enough. It is working. You just haven't waited long enough for it to work. It's coming to you. Contentment, peace, and abundance. A happy home life, the successful completion of the project. Your project will be successful. You just haven't waited long enough for it to be. And that's a good, that was, yeah. Fair and just decisions, do what you know is right, and stand up for your beliefs, and also the 6 of air. Yeah, fair and just decisions, do what you know is right, stand up for your beliefs. I feel like y'all are in that category of, oh, I casted it yesterday, and I don't understand why it's not working. 6 of air. Things are looking up. The end of a difficult situation and taking a trip. For some of you, yeah, y'all are asking for something that is kind of difficult. And it takes time for these things to move around in the real world. But in the end, you will get whatever it is that you're asking for. I feel like maybe for some of you, it's someone coming home, like you want them to come home. And it looks like they will, or you'll get whatever it is you're asking for. Why is your spell not working? It is working. And we can look at it from a different perspective. I mean, these didn't come out reversed. No. I feel like this is how it's supposed to be. It is working. You just have to give it more time. Look for signs of movement. Yup. Father of Earth. That is the underlying energy of you. You are worried about this. It could be about money at home. And you're worried that it's not going to be fair. Fears surrounding money. The wisdom to accept help from others. Uncertain self-employment. So, this to me is your worry and your fear. It could be that you have a lack mentality too. And you're worried that this is not going to work because you don't really have a lot of faith in yourself. But, yeah. Oh my god, you're going to get what you want. This is the yes card in the deck. This is the Nine of Cups, the Nine of Water. Your wish comes true. What are y'all worried about? Concerns fade away. A love of life. Y'all, don't. That's it. Y'all are good. They'll be fine. You might just have to release the fear, though. The end of a phase or situation, the spiritual transformation, time to move on. What is this? Is it a devil? No. Release. This is, the Hanged Man is 12. I don't remember what 13 is right now. It's okay. But anyway, y'all, deck number 1, y'all are getting what you want. It just seems like y'all are in the category of, excessive worry, or not giving it enough time. So yeah, just look for signs of movement towards your goal. Okay. Deck number 2. Why is your spell not working? Deck number 1's reading is like, what are you talking about? Your spell is working. What do you mean? Deck number 2, let's see what we got for you. Why is your spell not working? If you hear noise in the background, that's my kids. Deck number 2. Why is your spell not working? Deck number 2. Why is your spell not working? Oops. Okay. Deck number 2. Why is deck number, or Spirit, why is deck number 2's spell not working? You have to go through a transformation first. Deck number 1 got deck number 1 got 13. Oh, it's death. Duh. Deck number 1 got death too. Something has to change permanently for your spell to come into you. And it's gonna take patience for you to go through this transformation. So this is in the category, I believe, of something in your way. Here. Something is in your way. You're blocked. Like, or you've blocked yourself somehow. Like, I'm not seeing that you're crossed here. It's like they're your spirits or whatever you work with, they're waiting on you to go through some kind of transformation, or something outside of you to go through some kind of transformation, and it's going to take patience. This is the Temperance card. You're going to have to go through a waiting period. For this seed to grow. You see this? This man has a seed in his hand. And he's looking at it. He's watching it. It's like you're watching a pot of water boil. You know what that means? You're just sitting around on your thumbs waiting. For some of you, you're waiting for this transformation to happen. And that's why it's not happening. You're watching too hard. And for some of you, you have to go through a transformation. Your beliefs are stinking thinking, and you gotta get deep down in there, get those beliefs that are causing you issues. And you're gonna have to have patience with yourself while you're doing this, because sometimes you're not, okay. Sometimes your impatience with yourself is what gets in your way too. It's like you're waiting on this transformation patiently, but the reason why you're gonna keep waiting, that's patience. The reason why you're gonna keep waiting is because you're impatient. Good God, you're impatient for this transformation. And some of you have to transform and be patient so you can stop waiting. And I hope that makes sense to you. Yeah. This is the underlying energy here. I stopped shuffling because he's popped out and I was like, that's probably where I need to be. So deck number 2. This feels like self-defeat to me. This is the 5 of Swords, I believe. Like this is an empty victory. It also kind of feels like you haven't really put a whole, the right amount of energy into it. And not just any energy, the right energy. Like the accurate type of energy for whatever it is you're asking for. And that's why you're waiting, and you're going to keep waiting. Although, you might see a little bit of growth. You see the seed here? It looks like if you push here, you might see some growth of the seed in the patience card. But you're going to have to kind of be patient still as this transformation takes form. I got that. I felt that one. Alright, so for some of you, the seed that you planted here, that you're patiently waiting to grow, will grow. But I feel like there are going to be some issues here because it's not going to be exactly what you want. There's going to be some growth in here, but it's not going to be rooted in anything. You see that this tree doesn't have any soil. There's no real way to give it water. It's like this might be a short-lived kind of energy because the thing is stuck in this freaking hourglass. If you want it to stick, you're going to have to transform in some way. You're going to have to kill something. And for some of you, you're going to have to kill this old tree that you've contained in this hourglass, kill it, so that this new thing that you're asking for comes in. There are so many different timelines here. It's interesting. For some of you, the transformation is happening. You just need to be patient. There's the seed here. Like I said, I keep looking at the seed. The seed is here. And there is a beautiful shoot. It's a flower coming out. For some of you, you'll get what you want. You just need to be very patient and wait. And the seed, oh, it's actually in the sand, isn't it? It's not in like really healthy. Well, anyway, it's in sand down here, I think. The tree roots. So whatever it is, one way or the other, if you are patient and willing to change permanently, whatever it is that you're asking for looks like it'll grow, but you're going to have to be patient again. I'm feeling a lot of patience here. You guys are in the category of not giving it enough time, whatever it is you're asking for. And you might have to transform your beliefs about it. But I'm not really seeing a whole lot of crossed up condition here, which is good. So, I'm not seeing a whole lot of scattered energy either. But anyway, something else that I wanted to say about this tree is that for some of you, after this waiting game is over, this tree is going to bust this glass and it's going to continue to grow and it's going to be beautiful. So that was deck number 2, guys. Looks like you guys have to wait a little bit longer for your spell to work, and try not to worry so much about it. Worry is self-defeat. Alright, deck number 3. Why is your spell not working? Another interpretation that I'm getting, this is the last one, is that the reason why yours is not working is because you got tired of waiting and being patient. And you decided to give up, basically. And that's all that I'd say about that. Alright, deck number 3. I'm sorry about that. Why is deck number 3 spell not working? Please, Spirit, at the highest vibration, grant me access to the collective so that I can give deck number 3 an accurate answer to that question. Why is their spell not working? The spell that they cast for whatever they're asking about. Please give me an accurate answer so that I can give them a clear and concise answer to the question. Why is their spell not working? Spirit. Alright, one more time, and then I'm going to cut the deck. Why is deck number 3 spell not working? Okay. Interesting. Your beliefs. Okay. You believe you have beliefs that are getting in your way. This is the 5 of Cups. This man is staring at these spilled cups. He's mourning these spilled cups and doesn't even realize that there are 2 perfectly good cups still behind him. If he just turns around, he'll see these perfectly good cups. This is like you're mourning something. Some of you are mourning something. This is the underlying energy for your reading. Some of you are mourning something, and then the 4 here, where these fell off. This is, you might be refusing your blessing for some reason. That this person, you see that? That's 4 and 5. I'm feeling that some of you out there actually might have gotten what you asked for. You might have gotten what you waited for. Your ships might have come in. But for some reason, you decided you didn't want it. You cut it out. You were maybe a little immature about it. Oh, it's not exactly what I asked for. Therefore, I'm just going to get all up in my feelings about it. This is not exactly what I asked for. This is not the ship that I wanted to come in, even though it was a ship that came in. So I'm just going to get all up in my feelings about it. This might be a love reading where you wanted somebody and they didn't come back just exactly how you wanted them to, and your intention might not have been as clear as it needed to be, and you refused it. You might have actually refused your blessing or your prayer or the answer to your prayer because it wasn't exactly what you asked for. It probably was exactly what you asked for. You just didn't give it. You didn't give it. You didn't take it. And it looks like it tried to come to you more than once. It's like it came to you once, came to you twice, it came to you 3 times, and it's trying to come again. But for some reason, you're not reaching out to get it. Do you want it or not? And if this is a love reading, you're waiting for somebody to come back, and they came back, but you refused them for some reason, and now you're like, I don't understand why the spell didn't work. Come on now. So, if you were waiting, if this is a love reading, this is what I see a lot, the people who do love readings, where they want to reconcile with somebody. I want this person to come back, right? But I want them to feel pain. I want them to feel pain because they hurt me, right? So you waited for this person to come back, right? And I feel like this is you for some of you, right? You waited for this person to come back. You waited for that ship to come in. And here they are on the shore. And they offered you this cup. But you wanted them to feel pain. And this is an immature energy. It's like, a young person who's kind of a troublemaker. The Page of Swords is kind of the most troublemaker of the deck, of the pages. So this person came back. This is the cup that they offered you. This is the cup that they're offering you again. They offered it to you maybe more than once. And you rejected it 3 times. You might reject it a 4th time. And then you're wondering why things aren't going your way. That's a storyline for some of you. So this is on the bottom. Yeah, what? These are the cards that I had that were up under the 4. Where is it? Oh, there's 4. Duh. Okay. So it was this, like this. This was the bottom of the deck that fell out. So it's like somebody took a leap of faith, made an offer, but it was refused. And now you're wondering where your blessing is. It looks like it came to you. You just refused it. Why? It looks like your spell worked. Why is your spell not working? It looks like it worked. Why didn't you take it? I keep looking at this man right here because he keeps looking at me. No, I don't know if this is you or someone else. It's like this might be the one. I'm only sighing because I just got the twin flame energy. And it's not a bad energy. It's just that twin flame relationships, soulmate relationships in general, are just difficult. And there's always this kind of energy where it's just complicated energy. That's all. He's the Emperor. Now, it looks like this person wants things how he wants things to be, and he wants nothing else, right? So that's kind of what I'm getting here, is that you got 2 offers. I'm feeling like this might be the... Yeah. Anyway, you got 2 offers here that you waited for. They came to you. But you didn't accept it? This feels like you. A little bit. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to be honest here. But for some reason, you didn't take it. Okay. Now for others of you, it looks like what you're waiting for... No. No, really? My spirit guides are like, no, that's it. That's it. It's like, this is the next card. Whatever offer it was what you wanted. It was going to give you emotional fulfillment, but you turned this person away. I feel like it's a person. It might be her. And I feel like this is you. This could go either gender. It could go either way. Well, it really can, actually, for this one. It feels like you wanted a person to come back, or you wanted someone that you saw to come to you, and they did, but I guess you got afraid, or whatever. Let's put that over there. Let's put that over there. I need that. Put this over there. And I think this was over there, too. So, clarify the Ace of Cups for me, please, Tarot. And in regards to why the spell isn't working, I just got a glimpse of the 5. You rejected it for some reason. Clarify the Ace of Cups. Oh, looks like somebody's ego got in the way, and that ended it. Now, generally, sometimes the world can be a good card, but with the other cards, I'm taking this to mean that you might have just wanted this to pad your ego, and that was it. So you refused. when this person came back because you wanted them to hurt. You wanted them to hurt. You wanted them to come back for an ego boost, but then you ended it because you wanted them to feel pain. You waited for them to come back just so that you could make them feel pain and make them over emotionally, like make them hurt, like have an emotional outburst or an emotional overflow. Could be any emotion. Could be anger. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut about that one. Oh God. Okay. I feel like your spell worked. He just refused this person for some reason, or this opportunity. Yeah, I'm done with these. Okay, so it looks like for the gist of it is that all of y'all's spells actually worked. Except for maybe this one. This one you kind of have to go for some more work, or more time for it to work. It's like you guys got what you wanted, but you refused it, and you guys are getting what you want. They're like, why are you asking this question? Your spell is working. You guys, all of you, just you two seem to be impatient. Y'all, for some reason, cast a spell, got what you wanted, and refused it. So that's what I got for you. If this resonated with you, please comment in the description, the comment section below. I do one question readings for $5. My email is below. I also accept tips for those who want to tip, and donations as well, so that I can get more decks. I actually got this one with donations from you guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I also did a video about this. I did an unboxing. But anyway, I do sell crystals on eBay. And that's basically it. I will see you guys next time. Ta-ta for now.